episode could have been over an hour ago.
This episode has ruined my life, I think. Oh my god, it's at least ruined my day. Hey, I'm Blake.
And I'm Dave.
And this is First Prize Films, again, the podcast where we each select a genre-specific movie separated by at least a decade and pit them against each other to find out which film wins the coveted title of First Prize. If you could once again, for the love of God, tell us what that means, Dave.
Yes, it means... Okay, so it's the statistical equivalent of 0.
Huh?
It means nothing.
Oh. My huh was an actual question.
Today, we are taking over these alien invasion movies.
For better or worse.
And I made Blake watch A Quiet Place, a movie where if you even think about Doritos, you die.
And I made Dave watch the 2002 film Signs, a movie that made me really consider my faith. Not in God, but in my assumption that humans are really the dumbest creatures in the universe. I gotta say, man, I really enjoyed revisiting these movies.
Yeah, well, first of all, Quiet Place, was one of the last movies that I've actually physically bought a copy of. But Signs, I realized I had never seen more than a scene or two.
Really?
Yeah. Never.
I think the last time I saw A Quiet Place was when we saw it together.
Oh, really?
In theaters, yeah, when it came out. And Signs, it's probably been 15 years or so. But I gotta say, top-notch filmmaking from both of these films today. This might be the most consistent episode I think we've done so far.
I will say it feels weird. And I don't know why, but it does feel weird liking a Mel Gibson movie.
I have some issues myself. But in terms of the quality of filmmaking, they're both great films.
Yeah.
We did this last episode where we had two really great films.
Yes.
And we did it this episode too as well.
Yeah.
So we'll see how this pans out. I don't know if you'll agree with me.
See, normally I'd be like, we're never going to agree, but we've only disagreed one fucking time so far.
Which is so weird. I don't know. I thought we were on opposite spectrums of this thing. Our show concept is breaking down right before our eyes. What have we done?
I don't know.
There is some really funny stuff, though, in both of these movies.
Yes.
That I really enjoyed. I had a great time.
I laughed quite a bit.
Yeah, me too. It's great. I'm excited to get into these. Are you ready? I'm ready.
Let's fucking do it, man.
Okay, let's get on with it.
Get it.
Movie 1, A Quiet Place, 2018.
All right, Dave, give us your synopsis for A Quiet Place.
In a world overrun by aliens who constantly have migraines and will destroy you for even clearing your throat, one family must continue to survive after they lose a child because of a fucking toy rocket. We'll watch as they intensely, quietly live a normal life and then have another baby in what turns out to be the world's best contraception ad.
God damn, that's true.
So we open to on-screen text that says day 89, and then we smash cut to a stoplight that's on the ground, and a very, very empty city, and missing posters galore.
Yeah.
But now we're inside an abandoned, mostly empty grocery store when a fucking child sprints barefoot across the screen.
Spooky child.
Don't be so scary, children.
Right out of the gate. The scares are fast and intense. Scares are scarce, and I'm scared.
Anyway, we see a family of 5 in the store. Mom, dad, sister, middle brother, and baby brother. And they're quietly looking for medication for the sick middle brother. Yeah. Side note, the sister's deaf. So after they find what they're looking for, the baby brother knocks a toy rocket off the shelf, and big sister comes sliding in to catch it desperately.
Listen, if I've said it once, I've said it a million times. Don't bring your kids to the post-apocalypse. Leave them home.
God damn it.
Jesus. And I know they're at a grocery store and they're getting stuff, they're getting the medications, but have a little fun. Treat yourself. Maybe get some cough syrup, make yourself a Lil Wayne purple drink special.
Oh my God.
Have a little fun.
But also, don't do that because that makes noise.
That's my burden to bear.
So as the family's getting ready to leave, baby brother has grabbed the toy rocket again, and the family silently freaks out. They all just go rigid. And dad is like, fuck that.
Yeah.
And takes the toy away, taking out the batteries.
So we don't know why they're scared yet. We just know that they have to be quiet.
But also, why do children always want toys on a grocery trip?
And you think by day 89 of having to be super quiet, just shut the hell up.
Just shut the fuck up, 4-year-old.
Kids. Our podcast is anti-children, apparently. We're just dunking on kids left and right.
Oh, God. Anyway, the family is leaving the grocery store, and we see a newspaper flapping in the wind with the heading, "No Sound." Ah, so it's not a family of deaf ninjas. Got it.
Confirmed.
But big sister feels bad for baby brother and hands him the toy rocket and walks away. Remember, it doesn't have batteries in it now, so it should be safe.
Right.
But then, dumbass baby brother grabs the batteries off the counter. Yeah, I'm sure this is going to end well. And the family is walking back home on a trail of sand to mute their footsteps. They get to a bridge when all of a sudden, toy rocket noises ring out, and baby brother is now playing with the toy, and the family is freaking the fuck out. So dad sets down the middle brother, who he's been carrying because he's sick, and takes off in a dead sprint towards the baby brother, who is not quite yet on the bridge.
He's almost there.
By the way, this movie does this brilliant thing where when we see the deaf big sister, all the sound cuts out.
Yeah, the sound design in this film is incredible,
Right.
top to bottom.
Anyway, so dad sees something ripping through the woods towards baby brother, and it's like a race to get to him. A race that dad loses by mere feet as a monstrous alien jumps out of the woods and just rips baby brother from existence.
This movie is killing off kids in the first 10 minutes. I don't know if I'm emotionally ready for this. I said we talk shit on kids, but
Right.
not cool.
Yeah,
Well-
I agree. Totally.
This kid kind of asked for it. It's not his fault. He's a kid.
Like, honestly, why can't children just listen to their parents? Especially in the post-apocalypse. Anyway, I'm getting off track. So now, title card. And then more on-screen text. Day 472. So we fast forwarded just a little bit. So now we see the family farm, and inside the basement of the house, dad has a ridiculous setup of like security cameras, and plastered up everywhere are newspaper articles that say things like, "They can hear you." And there's also a whiteboard that has like important information on it.
Yeah, I love how this movie doesn't really hold your hand trying to explain the aliens. We get like glimpses of the newspapers the father has,
Right.
but that's it. The story really focuses on the family and their loud-ass kids.
Yes. So we also see on the dad's whiteboard that the aliens are blind, they attack sound, and they have fucking armor.
It sounds like a grandmother and a rascal driving through grocery stores. They're blind. They're angry. They have a form of armor to like mow people down at when they're angry.
So in the basement, dad is trying to use Morse code on one of those like shortwave frequency radios, but nothing happens. But now we see that mom is pregnant.
Girl, what do we just learn about the post-apocalypse? Dave,
Right.
You were there. Were there not any like there had to have been condoms at the store? Like I'm just saying.
Also, are we really trying to replace the dead one? Really?
It's dark. John Krasinski, this is your fault.
Do not pick a fight with Jim Halpert.
But we do see their plan for keeping the baby's inevitable cries hidden. They have a basement area that's like soundproofed. And they have a soundproof box to lock the baby in with an oxygen tank.
Yeah, box baby.
Fucking good luck. Anyway, so the family has basically abandoned the house in favor of the barn because the house has like squeaky floors and whatnot.
Yeah, I love how this movie can make walking and breathing scary.
I know, right? So after a silent dinner, the kids play silent Monopoly. And as kids do, they fuck everything up.
Of course.
Middle brother, or I guess little brother, now that the little one is dead. Anyway, he knocks over a lantern with a crash, like fire. So dad puts out the small fire and the family freezes, waiting to see if the aliens heard. Oh, fuck, it's the aliens. They heard. It's actually just raccoons.
Aw.
And the family is relieved, but I can't seem to unclench my butthole. But back in the basement, dad is working on a new hearing aid for the daughter as mom joins him with headphones in. And they dance silently before mom puts headphone in dad's ear.
The Cha-Cha Slide is such a intimate song. Wait, what were they listening to?
Oh, it's...
Come a little bit closer.
So now it's day 473, and mom is checking her vitals to make sure the pregnancy is going well because the due date is in 3 weeks. Oh, for the love...
God damn it.
Anyway, so big sister walks into the house on painted marks showing where it's safe to walk, which is smart. They thought of everything. And as she's about to go downstairs, Dad scares the fuck out of me, but grabs her. Now, we see them arguing in sign language, but since at this point I didn't have captions on, I have to go from memory.
Oh, no.
He's basically telling her she can't go down there, but he tries to give her her new hearing aid. And she's pissed for some reason.
She's a teenager, Dave.
Right. She says it doesn't work, and it never works. And, like, she's basically talking shit to him, like, you suck.
Yeah.
She's not really saying that. That's my interpretation. But, like, why are kids so fucking rude? He's trying to help you.
They're full of hormones. There's a lot of things going on.
Dumb. So, mom is in a different room teaching little brother when dad comes in and says it's time to go. But little brother doesn't want to go. He's fucking terrified, and I don't even kind of sort of blame him.
Yeah.
I make noises just walking. So, I'd be dead the second I bent down and my knees cracked.
My knees crack. My back hurts.
Even the slightest, like, discomfort, I go, ugh.
Yeah, I know lots of people are hearing us, but I'm 70 years old.
So, as dad and son are getting ready, big sister tries to go with them, but dad says no, she has to stay home with mom. Feels a bit sexist, but I'll let it go. Now we see big sister try on the new hearing aid, and it doesn't work, which they show by keeping everything silent as she tries snapping her fingers, which is brilliant.
Yeah.
Well, for the filmmakers, it's really stupid of her. Smash cut to a loud-ass stream with fish traps in it. And the son freaks out when dad loses the fish and starts to make noise, as would I. But dad tells him that when there's a bigger sound, like the babbling stream, then smaller sounds can't be heard by the aliens.
In this world, you have to be a lot of things, right?
Yeah.
You have to be your own doctor, mechanic, electrical engineer, food catcher.
Yep.
I'm straight up dead.
Yeah.
6 months in, and I take 20,000 volts to the chest trying to get my iPod from 2004 to work again. I can't just cry myself to sleep in silence, Dave. It's weird.
So now we see big sister walking off into the distance as mom is finishing up laundry back in the basement.
Yeah.
And as mom's walking up the stairs, she gets the laundry bag caught on a nail and yanks the bag, pulling the nail straight up.
I saw this setup when we saw it in theaters.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no. This is like the Home Alone thing. You
Yes.
know? Oh, it makes my skin crawl thinking about it.
But here's the thing. That nail is right on a painted mark where they have to step.
Right.
Okay, cool, because things aren't already dangerous enough. So dad and son are now behind a waterfall, and dad shows the son how big sounds cancel out their small ones by fucking howling like a wolf.
You're all right.
Bro, I believe you, but shh.
What else are you supposed to do in nature when you can just let loose?
Not that. So now we get dialogue between father and son. Actual speaking words.
This is the first time they're like speaking in the entire movie.
40 minutes in.
Yeah.
About the big sister. She blames herself for what happened to baby brother.
Right.
At the same time, we see where big sister is going. To the memorial that they put up where baby brother died. And she pulls out the toy rocket and sets it down at the memorial. Oof, bro.
Emotional gut punch.
But also, why would you keep the thing that got him killed?
As a memento of,
This is what made you die.
yeah, here, well, she holds that guilt.
Maybe that's her letting it go. Anyway, we're being too analytical. So then little brother asks dad if he still loves the sister. And dad says,
Of course I do.
You should tell her.
so dad and son make their way back home, and they happen upon an abandoned house and a creepy ass old man who then fucking causing an alien to come sprinting out of the woods and kill this man.
Dude, we just had like this really sweet father-son moment. Like, why you gotta bring your crazy into this, sir?
So as the old man is getting fucking annihilated by this alien, dad and son are like hiding. But while this is happening back in the house, mom's water breaks. Okay? This is why I don't have kids. I mean, I've never been in this situation, but it feels like a very good reason.
Worst timing ever.
Terrible
Any time in the post-apocalypse is a bad time to have a baby.
Right. So mom, who's already in labor, quietly makes a beeline into the basement when she steps on the nail.
I knew it was coming, dude, and I gasped. I was like,
It's funny because you intook air, I exhaled air in the form of Somehow, she stays silent as she pries her fucking foot off of the bloody nail and then flips the lights on they have hanging outside to red to signal that the baby's coming. But uh-oh, a fucking alien is in the house. So mom, thinking fast while still in labor, finds a hand timer to use as a diversion.
to be clear as well, she also didn't scream her bloody fucking brains out when she stepped on that nail. That's a form of self-control I do not possess.
Correct. And same. So now we see a close-up of the alien's head. It opens up an armored flap where we see its ridiculous ear hole
Cavity
thing.
thing.
when suddenly the timer rings out, and Mom makes a break for it upstairs as the alien starts wrecking the basement. But as she gets to the front door, another alien approaches. So she turns and goes upstairs. So now Dad and son arrive back to the farm to see the lights changed and snap into action. In sign language, Dad tells son to go to the rockets. What now?
Hop in the space rocket and get,
Just get
get
the
off
fuck
world.
out.
Yeah.
So now Mom is in a bathtub upstairs in the house, like about to pop for sure. And she's doing her best to keep the baby from coming out as an alien slowly makes its way upstairs. Now we see the alien clawing at the wall as it approaches the bathroom.
Dude.
And at the same time, little brother lights a fuse out in the fields, and Dad gets a shotgun from in the barn. But oh fuck, Mom realizes the baby's coming out, and there's no stopping it.
This thing made me sick with anxiety.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So while this is happening, fireworks start sounding off outside, but Mom just can't hold it in anymore. That fucking scream, bro.
With as little sound as there is in this movie, the sound that does happen is so effective and so frightening.
Oh, so Dad gets to the house as the fireworks keep blasting off in the distance, and he finds the bloody, now empty tub and starts to break down when, bam! Mom fucking slaps her hand against the glass shower. You could have made me shit myself. So little brother is now making his way back to the barn when he hears the clicking of an alien nearby. It's their, like, echolocation. Upon hearing this, he has a brilliant decision, which is to leave the quiet sand and start running through the noisy-ass corn stalks before running face first into a tractor tire. God damn it! What are you doing?
To be fair, I think they were looking for that tractor tire. It just came up way quicker than they were expecting.
Whatever. So as Dad carries Mom and newborn to the underground soundproof bunker, the baby starts to cry.
Because it's a baby. That's their main function.
It's their only function as far as I'm concerned.
They have to eat and shit too.
Which makes me cry. Anyway, so Dad hurries into the barn and then pulls a mattress over the hole as an alien walks into the doorway of the barn.
I'm screaming at this baby to shut the hell up. Like, John, stuff your baby in the box already. God.
So finally, Dad does exactly that, right? He puts the oxygen mask onto the baby and then into the soundproof box as the alien walks overhead, and my heart is going to explode. But now, as Big Sister makes her way back to the barn, she sees the light from the little brother's flashlight, like shining out from underneath the tractor.
Yeah.
As she stops to inspect it, an alien appears a few yards behind her. And as it gets closer, her new hearing aid that we saw doesn't work, starts emitting a super high-pitched frequency, and the alien freaks out and leaves. I mean, I don't like those noises either, but
if it works, it works.
yeah, anyway. Now Mom wakes up in the soundproof basement. We find out that the soundproofing is actually working. But we get no time to celebrate because Mom asks where the kids are. And Dad calms her down by saying he'll find them and that they'll know what to do in this moment.
He calms her down by saying, I have no fucking idea, and they're probably fine. Very calming.
So after recounting the day that they lost the youngest one, she asks,
Who are we? If we can't protect them, you have to protect them. Promise me.
now Dad is leaving the bunker to go find the kids, but he somehow misses water just pouring out of a busted pipe.
So we've talked about this, how they have to be their doctors and engineers and all this stuff themselves. Plumbing is not their strong suit.
No. But also, Director Krasinski, how about calm the fuck down? Okay. So Mom wakes up to water filling the bunker, and an alien now in the bunker with her and the baby.
An alien who can swim. You didn't tell me they could swim, Dave.
Oh, okay, to be fair, it's not swimming. It's just crawling underwater.
Swimming.
No.
It's maneuvering underwater.
It's literally just, it's still walking.
So the swimming aliens...
It's not swimming!
Do what now?
It's not swimming! So Mom grabs the newborn and hides behind, like, all the water falling into the bunker. And that alien gets real fucking close to the water, opening its fucking armored head flaps, trying to hear better.
Yeah.
Luckily, at this point, brother and sister are reunited, and they're on top of a corn silo trying to light a signal fire when suddenly the brother falls through the opening flaps into the silo.
This is a nightmare of mine.
Falling into a corn silo?
Okay, not specifically, but getting like sucked into something, you know, okay. It like reminds me of like...
That's a very specific nightmare, bro.
I have very, very rural dreams.
So this catches the attention of the alien in the bunker where Mom and baby are. and it takes off. Dad also hears this as he's out searching for the kids, and he watches as an alien sprints through the corn right next to him towards the noise.
Yeah.
So little brother is falling into the corn like quicksand, as per your nightmare, and big sister jumps in to save him. She uses one of the metal flaps that has fallen down as like a flotation device.
Close enough.
But now the sister starts drowning in the corn, and little brother has to save her. Right as he does, the alien drops into the corn. But before it can attack the kids, the sister's hearing aid goes haywire again, causing the alien to burst through the side of the silo.
He just nopes the fuck out of there so hard. And they show that shot where he's busted through the steel or the metal of the silo.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny.
Yeah, a little funny. So now mom is in the basement of the house with the newborn watching from the security cameras. Dad gets to the silo as the kids jump out and they run to each other and share a tight embrace. But the relief doesn't last long because now we hear the clicking of an alien nearby. Nope. So he directs the kids to go to their abandoned truck, which is a few yards away. And as they get to the truck, Dad grabs an axe. Bro, they have armor.
He's got to try something.
I guess.
To be fair, he's got to protect his kids. He's trying
okay,
anything
but
he
you
can.
do that by creating a diversion far away.
Not in that moment. He's too juiced on adrenaline.
Bro.
He just went the Jack Torrance route.
Anyway, so Dad takes a few steps and then stops cold. And the alien is on top of the structure he just grabbed the axe from, and it fucking swipes his ass.
Yeah.
Not Jim Halpert!
In my notes said, Johnny, no! But also, Jimmy, no!
So the kids see this and... Shut up, dude! Well, actually, I don't think I can blame him on that one. I probably would do the same thing.
I would definitely do the same thing.
Regardless, the alien hears this, and as it does, the sister's hearing aid goes haywire again. But this time, she turns it off. Fucking figure it out faster.
Be better at this.
Be better. So now the alien jumps to the truck and starts fucking it up with the kids in it.
Yeah.
And the injured dad grabs the axe and struggles to his feet. I might get emotional.
That's fair. This is an emotional scene.
So after he gets to his feet, he drops the axe, and that gets the alien's attention. Now he locks eyes with his daughter, and he signs to her, I love you. I've always loved you.
Oh, Jimmy.
And then... he screams out, and the alien jumps from the truck and swipes the dad out of existence. I'm not crying, you're crying.
In the theater, I was like,
I think I did cry. I think I legit cried in the theater.
I don't blame you.
So the son releases the e-brake on the truck, and it rolls away to the house where mom runs out and meets the kids as they all collapse together and cry silently. But the moment doesn't last long because an alien is heading straight for them.
Yeah.
So they make their way to the basement for some reason.
Go into the most enclosed space that you cannot get out of.
Right. That seems
for sure.
logical.
Definitely.
So as mom gives the little brother his infant sibling, big sister is taking in all of dad's radio equipment that she's obviously seeing for the first time. And then she sees his attempts at making her a new hearing aid.
Do we ever get clarity on why he didn't allow her to see this stuff to start? Did he just not want to scare the kids with all the alien stuff? Do we get...
It might have been in that one sign language conversation where I didn't have the captions on for.
Okay, I don't think it really matters in the scope of things, but it was something I was curious about.
Right. So upon seeing the hearing aid stuff, little sister starts breaking down, right? And mom tries to comfort her, saying I know. When an alien creaks down the fucking stairs.
Again with this.
I mean, why didn't he hit his foot on the nail? Anyway, so mom aims the shotgun at it as it slowly gets closer to her. As it does, the alien has all of its fucking head flaps open, and the white noise from the TVs piss it off, and finally, big sister figures it out. Too late, dude. You got Jim killed.
Jim's already dead. We don't care what happens now.
Right. So she turns her hearing aid back on, and it immediately goes haywire, sending the alien into a head-melting freakout. So as she struggles to deal with the noise, she sees the microphone for the low-frequency radio thing. And as this is happening, little brother holds the now scream-crying infant. But big sister pulls her hearing aid off her head and puts it up to the microphone, knocking the alien on its ass. But then the alien beelines towards mother and daughter with all of its head flaps stuck open, and the mom fucking shotgun blasts its head clean off.
Dude, her look is the closest thing we get to an Arnold one-liner in this thing. It's so intense. She doesn't need to say anything.
She turns and looks at the security cameras to see 2 more aliens ripping towards them. She turns to the daughter, and they both look to the radio. They turn it literally up all the way, and shotgun cocks. Roll credits.
I need to change my pants after that one. It was really great, and they left it at just the right moment. Mm-hmm. This is a great way to approach a really heart-pounding film.
Yeah.
You know, get into the scenes late and then leave as early as possible.
Right.
Keeps us filled with mystery. Yeah. Keeps us filled with action and tension and everything. And it was a great way to leave this movie. We know there's more coming, but we know that these characters are just going to fucking handle it.
Right. They finally figured it out. So now we know it's okay.
Absolutely loved it.
I remember when I went and saw it in theaters the first time, everybody didn't understand exactly how quiet this movie was actually going to be. So, like, you would hear so many people starting to dig in their popcorn and then immediately stop.
I noticed that too when we saw it. It was quiet, and I appreciated people respecting that and not munching on their stuff. But then when all the action happened, you could see people stuffing their faces with the popcorn. But that was really great, man. There's a lot of overlap between A Quiet Place and Signs, more than I initially would have thought. So I was really stoked to see these two together. I think they work together as a pair really well.
I agree.
There's definitely some differences.
There's quite a few.
There's a handful of differences.
Like, John Krasinski is remarkably so much better than Mel Gibson.
The person John Krasinski is a much better human than Mel Gibson. 100%. Their characters are both very interesting. But we're going to get there. I'm going to take a short break, put on some new underwear, maybe apply some more deodorant to my armpits and my forehead, and we're going to get going on this next movie.
Let's do it.
Movie 2, Signs, 2002.
All right, dude. Let's hear the synopsis for Signs.
In a world where under-researched aliens invade Earth, one family must come to grips with the fact that they have strange habits, convenient illnesses, and esoteric taste in literature that ultimately lead them to the basement where they just wait the whole thing out.
So, for a wee bit of context here, this is an M. Night Shyamalan film.
Yes.
Which he's notorious kind of at this point, but he was just coming off of 2 major hits.
Right.
The Sixth Sense and Unbreakable. And I loved Unbreakable.
Yeah.
And so with this, I wasn't particularly into, like, film necessarily, but I recognized his name and I wanted to see it. We rented it at, like, the Blockbuster or something.
Oh, God.
You know, and it was...
Blockbuster, for those younger generations, is a movie renting service. Back when movies were a physical thing you had to get.
Dark times for everyone. But, you know, I watched the movie and I enjoyed it and kind of moved on with my life and haven't really thought about it much since. So I was kind of eager to revisit it with this.
Yeah.
So we start this movie with something I typically hate, right? Which is just titles appearing on screen without telling us anything visually.
Okay, yeah.
But that classic James Newton Howard score kicks in and I'm like sucked into this thing, you know? So enter our protagonist, or awaken our protagonist, however. Graham Hess, played by Mel Gibson, who is totally cool with Jewish people. So we see a picture of his family next to his bed, which tells us that he has 2 kids, a wife, and he's wearing a collar, meaning he's a pastor. And I'm sensing a theme.
Yeah.
So Graham strolls through his dark farmhouse and picks up things from his messy-ass kids when he hears a scream. It's those messy-ass kids.
Yeah.
So Graham meets up outside with his brother Merrill, played by Joaquin Phoenix, who lives in the back house.
Phoenix.
He's great, and they take off into the field in search of his children of the corn.
Yeah, these dumbass kids are playing in the cornfield. That's just like begging to fuck shit up.
This is like horror movie 101, right? So they find them pretty fast, and we're shown something strange. Not something I think that like warrants a scream, but it's strange still.
Right.
It's crop circles.
Oh,
very spooky. Morgan, Graham's son, says,
I think God did it.
if that's true, then God's a fucking vandal. I'm I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Real question, if you had a farm, would discovering crop circles freak you out?
First and foremost, I would never have a farm.
But if you did have a farm,
Yes.
it would freak you out?
Fuck yeah, it would freak me out.
Like, to me, crop circles are kind of like cornfield Banksies. Like, frustrating to whoever's property was used, right? But ultimately, a net positive for the art world.
See, it was strange finding the crops that way.
Graham calls the corn police, and they tell
Corn police.
They tell him that it's probably just some local boys causing trouble, Lionel Pritchard and the Wolfington brothers, which, honestly, those people sound sketchy, so regardless of the corn art going on, they should probably check up with Lionel Pritchard.
It also, oddly enough, sounds like a bad British antagonist.
It does sound like
Lionel
mustache
Pritchard
twirly.
and Wolfington brothers.
I didn't think of it that way. I thought them as kind of like good old boys. That's what it sounded like
Those
to
names
me.
don't sound good old boys to me. They're like the Johnson brothers, you know?
Fair enough. I guess the point is that everybody hates them and thinks they're dirtbags.
Right.
Now, Officer Paskey shows up to look at the crop circles.
And what kind of machine can bend a stalk of corn over without breaking it?
It's not the only strange thing going on here, Dave.
Yeah.
The local animals have been on edge and acting strange,
God.
even violent lately. She refers to Graham as she calls him father.
Right.
But he insists she stops. And I'm like, what do we call you then?
Daddy?
That's exactly what I had. Exactly. I'm glad we're on the same page of this.
Always.
So the tension is cut when Daddy Graham realizes he does.
What's wrong?
I don't hear my children.
Graham, he rushes out of the cornfield back to the house to see both of his kids, Morgan, the older boy played by Rory Culkin, and Bo, the young girl played by Abigail Breslin. Morgan kneels over the dog, who he has just killed with a grilling tool.
My God, talk about childhood trauma.
Dude, right? Like, just like Officer Paskey was saying, the dog got aggressive and Morgan had to protect himself and his sister.
Right, it was turning into a Zomdog.
What is up with movies killing German Shepherds, man?
I don't know. I'm getting kind of fucking tired of it.
Luckily, in this case, they have a backup German Shepherd.
They just put the batteries into that one.
Yeah, they promptly take this German Shepherd and lock it up in the barn without due process. So we're getting into the meat of this movie really quickly, right? We start on the mystery, the big question of the film, and then we learn about the characters through the lens of this mystery. It's good storytelling and not something that I often find myself thinking on this show. Like, hey, this is coherent.
Right.
Now the night comes, and Graham is woken by his daughter, Bo, who wants a glass of water.
Yeah, the way she says it, though.
There's a monster outside my room. Can I have a glass of water?
This is why I don't want kids. That's terrifying.
Like, she didn't bury the lead, but deeply downplayed the lead.
Right.
There. She's very picky about her H2O. She leaves full water glasses all over the house.
What's wrong with the water next to your bed?
It tastes old.
He tucks her back into bed, and we learn that her mother, Graham's wife, has passed away, and that this is most likely the reason Graham has kind of lost his faith.
Yes.
But, oh my God, there's a naked man on the roof now. So Graham alerts his brother Merrill, and they think it's that goddamn Lionel Pritchard again.
Lionel Pritchard.
Drunk on the moonshine or something. I don't know. They team up to chase him around the house, but whatever it is,
my God, dude.
it wasn't Lionel Pritchard, and it goes back into the corn.
Also, fucking Graham's fucking thinks he's shouting.
Ah! I'm insane with anger! I'm losing my mind!
Graham is a previous pastor, so he's kind of trying to lean more into civilian life, how normal people talk. So it's the next day. They don't find our naked Lionel Pritchard. But our old friend Officer Paskey shows up again, and she tries to get a description of the man they saw, but they're interrupted when Bo tells them that
Same shows on every station.
which is spooky.
Yeah, this is really creepy.
Everyone gathers around the TV, and we see that some sort of global newscast is going on, and it details the incredible amount of crop circles popping up all over the globe.
The crop circles are all over the world? No, sorry, that sounded like a question. Crop circles are all over the world.
They have some professor-looking guy saying,
There are only a limited number of explanations. Either this is one of the most elaborate hoaxes ever created, or basically, it's for real.
meaning extraterrestrials. Would they really have someone on TV, apparently on every single channel, immediately saying extraterrestrials instead of like, hey, calm the fuck down, we don't know anything yet?
Well, have you ever seen Ancient Aliens on the History Channel?
This isn't Ancient Aliens. So instead of a broadcast, they just started playing Ancient Aliens on every channel. Those are the best ratings they've had in years. So, considering everything that the family's been through, Graham's wife dying, him leaving the church, and now aliens in the backyard, they decide they need to take a little trip into town and get their minds off everything.
Yeah,
Things are really intense. And I'd say, hey, good idea, but it gets weird really quick.
Oh, yeah.
Because we're introduced to M. Night Shyamalan's signature quirky characters.
They're trying to sell sodas. It's plain and simple.
Notably, the conspiracy-minded bookstore owner who thinks the crop circles thing is just all a big soda ad campaign. The girl in the pharmacy who has an existential breakdown in front of Graham.
And didn't care that he says, I'm not a reverend anymore. And she goes, okay, reverend.
She doesn't give a fuck. She just needs to clear her conscience.
Right.
And then finally, the army recruiter who recognizes Merrill from his minor league baseball days.
This got weird.
Shit, I know you. You're Merrill Hess. I was there the day you hit that 507-footer over the left field wall. Set the record.
Yeah, this guy is like a lunatic.
Yeah, he's very weird.
I'm glad he's not an active duty military person because he should talk to somebody.
Right, and of course the military guy thinks this whole thing's a military op. Also, he doesn't shut his mouth the entire time.
That makes sense why it's a deeply uncomfortable scene.
Yes.
It's not even supposed to be scary. I think it's supposed to be kind of quirky and funny, which it is, but it's also unsettling.
Yeah, very unsettling.
So Morgan and Bo buy a book at the bookstore about extraterrestrials, and they all meet back up for pizza when they spot the man himself, M. Night Shyamalan, playing the role of Ray Reddy, a guy who the whole family recognizes for an as-of-yet unknown reason.
Is that him?
Yeah.
You know, I gotta be honest with you, that kind of feels a bit self-jerky.
Well, yeah.
Putting yourself into your own movie.
He kind of,
as a pivotal character.
With his first couple films, he's doing that thing like Hitchcock would do, where he'd like have a little cameo walking past something. But this, he gives himself the pivotal emotional core role in this film.
So stupid.
He's not in it a bunch, but he's a big part of this.
Right.
So we'll get back to Ray, but for now, the Hess clan arrives home when Morgan's baby monitor starts picking up a signal.
Oh, that's creepy as fuck.
Just for setup, earlier, he'd been curious about Officer Paskey's like walkie-talkie, and the closest thing he had was an old baby monitor because, I don't know, kids are weird.
Right.
Now this baby monitor is picking up a strange signal of some kind, and Morgan has a theory.
What if it's catching a signal from them?
And Merrill responds with something that was a direct shot aimed at me.
Morgan, this crop stuff is about a bunch of nerds who never had a girlfriend in their lives. They're like 30 and they work up little codes together and they analyze Greek mythology and make up secret societies where other guys who never had girlfriends before can join in.
Way to fucking nerd shame, Joaquin.
It hurts. The signal persists, though, and it even gets stronger when they get out of the car. Voices are heard, but not human.
No.
Just like little clicks and pops that actually just sound like me eating a sandwich. Then the signal's just gone. So the strangeness continues that night as their incarcerated German Shepherd starts barking, and Daddy Graham walks into the corn with a flashlight. It's genuinely creepy, though. I think this atmospheric scene is really well earned.
You're wasting your time here.
I also love how he's like, you're going to feel real silly when this turns out to be make-believe, he says as he goes into the cornfield.
So my hair's kind of standing on end at this point because he's looking around. We've built up this mystery and things are happening around the world. Something's out there. Something's in the corn. Yeah. So Graham's snooping around and he sees a skinny blue leg step deeper into the corn, and I definitely pissed. Full on piss. Not even a little.
Listen, all I could think is that alien's been skipping leg day.
Dude, if I saw that blue-ass leg walking into my corn, I would hop in the car, drive until I ran out of gas, and run until my fucking legs broke off. Fuck the kids, fuck my brother, and fuck my former life. I'm getting a new one. It's over for me. We're starting fresh.
Oh, fuck.
Anyway, things are kind of getting a little dicey now, obviously, as the family watches news reports of lights appearing over all the major cities in the world.
You are seeing a live feed from our affiliate down here in Mexico City. What you're seeing is real. It's unbelievable. Everything they wrote in science books is about to change.
It's heavy, and we kind of feel some of that heaviness. It's exciting. Like, the tone in this movie is really interesting. It's exciting, but scary. Now, the night continues on, and the kids fall asleep, but we get this heavy thematic conversation between Graham and Merrill about the end of the world and those big questions.
See, what you have to ask yourself is, what kind of person are you? Are you the kind that sees signs, sees miracles? Or do you believe that people just get lucky?
I really like the balance here of the heavy dialogue and the perfect amount of levity from Merrill, who relates a story about almost getting vomited on at a party.
So I turn take out the gum and turn around. Miranda McKinney throws up all over herself. I could have been kissing her when she threw up. It was a miracle.
That's a very weird transition, but all right.
It worked for me because that's exactly how this guy's brain works.
Right. And, I really liked how he was saying that there's two camps, right? Fear and hope. And I feel like I'd be in the hopeful camp, but like hopeful the aliens would take me on a celestial joyride.
Oh, I'd be on the hopeful camp in the fact that I hope they just fucking end it soon and put me out of my goddamn misery.
Fair point.
But Graham finishes off their conversation by saying,
There is no one watching out for us, Meryl. We are all on our own.
It's heavy, but not heavy enough, Dave, because we get a flashback scene of Graham arriving to the scene of an accident where his wife was hit by Ray, Shyamalan's character, who had fallen asleep at the wheel.
Right.
This was about 6 months ago, and Graham is still wearing his collar, meaning he hadn't started his metamorphosis from Father Graham to Daddy Graham yet. But we'll come back to more of this later, because now Graham wakes up to Meryl huddled away in the closet, obsessively watching the TV, and the kids are reading Morgan's book about ETs, with foil hats on their heads, so the aliens don't read their minds.
Right. So both of those things, super relatable.
It's really cute. The kids are cute. I appreciated this.
Yeah.
This is when the movie started feeling like a classic Spielberg film, with the family dynamic and the big, heavy themes balanced perfectly with the fun and witty dialogue.
Sure.
Now that we've established that, Graham gets a weird call from Ray.
Yeah, and the phone ringing actually scared the fuck out of me a little bit.
It was a jump scare in a way that was effective. Like, it didn't feel... It was warranted.
Yeah.
So Graham ends up going to Ray's house to find Ray in his fully packed car, visibly shaken, not stirred. When Graham asks... And Graham asks where he's going. He says...
To the lake. Way I see it. These places marked in crops and such, none of them are really near water. I don't think they like water.
Real fucking smart, Ray. If they didn't like water, why the fuck did they come to a planet that is like 70% water? We'll come back to this, as with a lot of things, but in the meantime, Ray apologizes for accidentally killing Graham's wife.
Yeah, but like a dickbag.
Exactly. He also casually warns him that he locked an alien in his pantry. So he promptly peels out, like, oh, sorry, killed your wife. There's a hostile alien instead. Thanks, Ray. Eat shit. Like, dude.
Right. Alien in the pantry. Cool. No big.
Yeah. So while this is going on, at home, Meryl watches a news broadcast, and we finally get our first glimpse of the alien.
What you're about to see may disturb you.
It's bad looking.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, though, the bad CG aliens are still scary as fuck.
I didn't expect 20-year-old CG to hold up, but I remember noticing it back in the day, too. Like, it would have been more acceptable if they would have just shown us the quick glimpse, but for some reason, they make a point of freeze framing it and then zooming in on it so we can see just how bad it is.
Yeah.
It's like the producer shaming the graphics people. Like, look what you did. It's fine. Because back at Ray's, Graham approaches the pantry and uses a knife as a mirror to see under the door.
Knife mirror. Mirror knife?
Mirror knife.
Oh, sorry. It's attacking knife.
It's true. He's met with an alien claw, so Graham freaks out and chops 2 of its fingers off.
Those were his favorite 2 phalanges, and now they're gone. So we've learned 2 things now, Dave. These aliens dislike being locked in pantries, and they probably can't swim.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think we could take them.
With squirt guns and bodies of water.
It's true. Graham is rightfully panicking, and he wants to leave town.
They don't like places near water. Maybe we'd be safe from them near a lake or something.
Sounds made up.
He's outvoted by everyone, so they decide to just stay home. Now they have to board up all the windows.
Yeah, because of course they do.
How do we know boards will do anything?
Because they seem to have trouble with pantry doors.
So they start boarding up the house, but decide to have what feels kind of like their last meal.
Yeah, gloomy.
But sitting around the table, tension rises, and Graham refuses to say a prayer because he's not a pastor anymore.
Right.
Morgan, his son, turns on him.
We aren't saying a prayer. Eat.
I hate you. You let Mom die.
It's just really fucking sad, man.
Yeah, that got uncomfortable real fast.
They get it all out, and they cry together, and they hug it. I'm not crying. You're fucking crying.
Well, you know what, Blake? Moment over, because it's wartime.
All the crying and hugging and nonverbal reconciliation is interrupted by Morgan's baby monitor going crazy. The aliens are getting close. It is action time.
Yes.
It's happening.
Meryl and Graham finish boarding up the doors and windows when the aliens arrive outside, and they're banging and kind of knocking. It's mildly polite. But as the aliens find their way inside from the roof, Graham keeps the kids calm by telling them stories of their births.
Aw, cute moment right before annihilation.
It is honestly, it's heart-wrenching. You know, like that feeling when parents are trying to keep you calm when something terrible's going on? Oh, man.
And your mama kept bleeding. So the doctors rushed you out of the room before I even had time to see you.
They're on the roof.
While they were fixing her up, all she kept asking about was you.
It got my heart racing, and to be honest, not so much with the aliens getting in, but with the story of Morgan's botched-ass birth. What a horror story. The poor wife. So they all rush downstairs to hide from the aliens, where Graham and Meryl decide to wedge the door closed. But something's wrong.
They're only making noises. They're not trying to get in. Why would they do that? They're distracting us.
Graham realizes there's a coal chute in the basement. They're trying to get in.
Also, another coal chute?
Oh yeah, this is the coal chute motif pervades this series. But what comes into play here is that Morgan, the boy, he's standing in front of the coal chute when they find it, and an alien hand grabs him through the grate. It's just like, boop.
What?
Bladder destroyed. But followed by more liquid coming out of my eyes, because then we have our next two heart-wrenching scenes.
Yeah.
It's tough, but Meryl is able to keep the chute blocked, keep the alien from getting in, while Graham pulls Morgan away, where he has a severe asthma attack.
Oh, come on. Like, the aliens aren't enough.
They set this thing up, and I knew it was coming. It's tough. Graham comforts him, and talks him through this asthma attack, and we have a flashback to that fateful night when Graham's wife died. He gets there just in time to talk to his wife before she dies. Just as he's about to go talk to her, we cut back to the present, where Graham wakes up in the basement to Meryl playing the radio. It's a news report.
They're leaving?
That's what they said. They said they had poison gas. They secrete in small amounts. A lot of people died.
Now we know that the aliens are just quitters.
Yeah.
I guess. And this is the most anticlimactic alien invasion. People must have found a way to beat them off screen, I guess. Fine, whatever. We're not quite done with these aliens. No. Because we go upstairs and they're confronted by an alien who was left behind. He captured Morgan, and he's threatening him with the poison gas we just mentioned.
Right.
And this is not just any old alien, Dave. It's our good friend Freddy Eight Fingers. The alien from Ray's Pantry, who Graham cut 2 of his fingers off. Apparently, he didn't get to a surgeon in time, and he's out for blood. This scene did a lot of smart things, though, to avoid showing the alien too much. It showed its reflection in the TV screen and all that stuff. It's super effective and definitely heightens that tension here.
Yeah.
So we don't have to see that shitty CG. Now Graham starts racking his brain for ideas when he totally just dissociates and flashes back one last time to the night of his wife's death.
Yeah, we fucking see it.
Dude, it is like legitimately emotionally devastating. We have to watch her tell Graham to give messages to their kids and Meryl, who she specifically tells,
Tell Meryl to swing away.
That infectious score fades in as Graham comes back to reality, which I gotta say, kudos to Freddy the Alien here for having the patience to wait out Graham's fucking flashback.
Like, he's just sitting there like,
He's kind of doing this like weird dance kind of with the kid, back and forth. Like,
yeah, there's like hold music playing while everybody's just watching.
So Graham looks over and sees Meryl next to a bat hanging on the wall and tells him, Meryl, swing away. Meryl grabs the bat and the alien sees him moving, so he sprays Morgan with the poison gas. Meryl starts fucking wailing on this alien.
Just beating the fuck out of it.
Who falls against some furniture and spills one of Bo's water glasses that she's left all over the house.
Right.
The water spills on the alien, leaving a wound. Wait, is that their weakness?
Dude, literal water.
Meryl splashes water all over this alien, killing it, while Graham gets Morgan outside and gives him an EpiPen.
He's not so close. Don't touch him. Give him a minute.
We get a tense moment as we're sitting over Morgan, seeing if he's gonna die or live. But he speaks.
Dad?
He's alive. The poison gas didn't get into his lungs because the asthma. So score 1 for asthma, I guess.
I'm like, yay, they defeated the alien. And on a lesser note, saved the kid.
So now the camera moves into the house and does a full 360, showing a progression of time. Graham emerges from the bathroom finally, all dressed up, complete with his collar. Call him Daddy Graham no more. He's back to Father Graham.
Of course he's back to Father Graham. We couldn't just let it be science and keep him as Daddy Graham?
Nope, I love Daddy Graham, but Father Graham prevailed in the end. Roll credits. Everyone's arcs are finally complete now, Dave. It all makes sense. Graham found his faith again. Meryl remembered how to swing a baseball bat. Morgan didn't fucking die. And Bo's water specificity and general disdain for picking up after herself essentially saved the entire family. A tightly wrapped bow of an ending.
But are they really character arcs if they basically just ended up exactly where they were before?
They're better now because they've come together as a family. And they, survived the alien and now they all love each other again.
Yeah, it just took an alien invasion just to get over Mom's death. That's
And listen, I really get why people were mad at this reveal, though, with the water killing the aliens. It'd be one thing if this movie was mediocre, but this is an incredibly well-crafted film, and the twist is just like water, dude. Yes, it was set up. I know they set the whole thing up, and I get it, but it doesn't explain how the aliens got as far as a fucking invasion without realizing that most humans on this planet have quick access to their biggest weakness. Children with dollar store super soakers and a running toilet can defeat these things. Come on, dude. I would be less pissed if this movie sucked more.
To be fair, toilets beat us every time we have Taco Bell, so...
Toilet score count is through the roof. Most definitely. Well, I don't think that ending necessarily distracts from the overall message and tone of the film. It definitely was something I had to note because it was just so bizarre.
I honestly didn't mind it, but now that you're mentioning it, I'm like, yeah, fuck that.
I'm glad we've gotten through these. These have been fun, but now we have to get on to more serious business, Dave.
Yeah, well, to be fair, the first half of the season, we were fighting to the death.
Yeah.
And so far, on the second half of the season, it's more of like a tickle fight.
It is a cute little tickle fight. We're fighting over
Pillow fight.
We're fighting over who gets the most icing on the cake.
Yeah.
Who gets the big piece, the big chunk of icing. That's what we're fighting over.
Movie versus movie. Welcome to the Thunderdome. This place fucking rules.
So I think everybody knows the drill already for the Thunderdome segment.
Hopefully.
But before we watch these movies, Dave and I decide on 5 things that we both agree make a good genre movie, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
In this case, alien invasion horror.
Right.
So let's go through them. So the first thing, these movies have to have terrifying aliens.
Or, no, actually, that one's pretty self-explanatory.
It has to have constantly building tension.
Are we ramping up to see these little green men?
We need a tight-knit family unit.
Are we the Torettos up in this bitch?
It has to ask existential questions.
You gonna need a therapist after this?
And we need a big payoff.
They dead or what? So, terrifying alien design. So, the aliens in A Quiet Place are so intense. They're armored, they got giant claws, and the way its head flaps open to hear an echolocate is terrifying. Not to mention the rows of razor-sharp teeth.
See, I didn't even pick up on the teeth the first time I watched it. I was just so enamored with the way their heads kind of split open and stuff, and they're like weird ear canals. Need some big Q-tips for those things.
But how do you miss the fucking teeth?
I was just too distracted by literally everything else in this movie about listening to my own breaths.
You haven't breathed in 4.5 minutes?
Exactly. No, I agree. A Quiet Place does have terrifying alien design. I think
totally.
It's good. I've never seen anything quite like it, which I think is pretty key.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to sit here and tell you that the aliens in Signs are the most terrifying things ever.
Oh, thank God.
But I think the fact that they're shown not so often kind of helps them as scary, especially when we see them through the reflections. Because H.R. Giger alien designs, these are not. The CG doesn't hold up. We know that.
Oh, totally.
But it still got a few reactions out of me when push came to shove with some of these really great placements and reveals.
Okay, that's fair.
And that kind of plays into, I think, our next point, which is constantly building tension. Signs, this is really where it shines because we're hit with rising tension from the first minutes of this movie, and it just ramps up and up and up throughout the course of the whole film, building on not only the alien invasion, but the tension within the family and the tension within Graham himself as he struggles, with his faith and stuff. And even better is that M. Night Shyamalan, as a director, knows exactly when to push and pull that tension to keep us engaged and just riding with him through this whole movie.
Yeah, I honestly, I thought that there was a few dull parts, but not anything that wouldn't come with just a horror movie in general.
I understand that.
But in A Quiet Place, we see this family go through one thing after another. continuously over and over and over while they try and just stay quiet the whole time. That's another thing that makes it more tension filled.
Right.
They have to be quiet, which is extremely difficult because as we see, starting with knocking over a lamp and ending with trying to hide a crying newborn from these sound-hating aliens, it's difficult, almost impossible, and it makes you nervous.
I think it's good. I agree. Like the tension does build, but I don't think it's as layered as Signs. There's multiple points of tension building at the same time to coalesce at the end as this like one big ball of tension just waiting to explode by the end.
Okay, but fucking A Quiet Place has that exact same thing.
It's not as fleshed out though. It's not as visceral for me.
We see one of the things happen. We see the kid die, which that comes to a head sort of between mother and father where they finally talk about it. We see the tension between father and daughter. That comes to a head when fucking she gets Jim Halpert killed. Actually, she didn't do it. He did it himself. Sorry. And then we also see the tension between the people and making noise. So there's just as many layers of tension for this movie, if not more, in my opinion, than Signs.
I mean, I understand how you're laying it out. I disagree. No, I'm just being fucking honest with you.
You're being fucking wrong, actually, because... But honestly, Signs family drama is maybe different than A Quiet Place family drama, but that does help us get into our next point, which is tight-knit family. And I don't think you can get more tight-knit than this family. They were already all on the same page because of the sound rules, but after losing the youngest child, they all brought themselves together in the end in a way that wouldn't be possible otherwise, aside from Jim Halpert dying. There's fighting between father and daughter, but that's natural in any scenario.
What I think we're getting at with tight-knit family unit is not just that they are tight from beginning to end, that they have their struggles and they overcome through their tightness that had been kind of previously set up.
Which they do.
I mean, they do. I agree. These are both great films, but Signs succeeds tremendously, I think, in this category. This is really a family drama, and you get to experience through all of their challenges a family that comes together and fights together. Like, it's an inspiring kind of movie, and it has this uncynical sense of heart in the story, and I couldn't help but get wrapped up in it in a way I never really did when I was younger. It's really great. It really stuck with me.
Well, I guess I'm not disagreeing with you, but I guess it's not fair because the family in A Quiet Place is already that way.
No, and I understand. Not every movie is going to be that way.
Right.
And I think what's interesting about A Quiet Place is that we see a tight-knit family unit. They kind of fall apart in their different ways and then come back together. They both have their arcs. I just think Signs was stronger in that way.
Wrong.
And
Wrong
that's
again.
fine because through the family drama stuff, we are allowed to weave in other themes, which is where I think we get to our next point, existential questions. When it comes to asking the big questions, Signs fucking delivers, dog, and you cannot deny that. A man struggling with his faith during an alien invasion and then finding it again, these big questions on like, are you alone? There's an alien invasion coming. There's a lot of these things posed, and it's fucking terrifying to really think about when you're trapped in a house, you have kids to take care of and all these things. And I just didn't understand it as much when I was a kid, and it's that much more effective now as an adult.
Well, the thing about A Quiet Place's existential questions are they're significantly different than most other alien invasion existential questions. The main one in this movie is how far would you go to protect your family/children? And would you have the fortitude to do it? And I think they show this brilliantly with how the father ends up sacrificing himself so his kids can get away. Also, it makes you think about not just the potential of like an alien invasion, but an alien invasion where they're just violent as fuck.
They're unpredictable, but there's no way to interact with them.
Right,
thing.
exactly.
It's just a mindless killer, which makes it a great horror film.
Yes. And speaking of like the overall tone, a big part of that is the big payoff. With A Quiet Place, the payoff in this movie is brilliant. Dad dying aside, they finally figure out how to not only defend themselves against these seemingly indestructible beings, but how to actually kill them. Plus, that shotgun pump at the end.
Oh, it's so good. I love it.
Good, man.
I mean, all things being fair, Signs is less of a satisfying payoff.
A little bit.
It's made worse because of how good the movie is otherwise. It feels like a Spielberg movie, but instead of the end where like Jaws gets blown up in an explosion,
right?
It's kind of like if Jaws was allergic to the boats, got a rash and just swam away. It's like painfully dumb and tragically subpar to how good this movie was leading up to it. So I know where I stand on this point. But yeah, the payoff in A Quiet Place
is super good.
It's so great. And seeing it in the theater, I'm like, yeah!
Yeah.
Woo!
We did it! Well, you did it.
You did it, and I just watched.
I watched. Well, I think this is going to be an interesting finish line because I thought I knew how it was going to go, and now I'm not so sure.
Yeah, I don't know, man. This is going to be good, I think. Let's get to it. I'm excited.
Fuck it. Let's do it!
Hey, look, we did it. It's the finish line. We're at the finish line. Can I go home yet? Alright.
Okay, so the suspense is killing me. Let's just go right in. I want to hear your pick.
All right, man. I have to say, I found a lot of things in both of these movies that I didn't really remember, but floored me. Like A Quiet Place, it's so specifically done, and it was a big hit for a reason.
Yeah.
And Signs is kind of shit on a little bit. You know, internet and all this stuff it focuses on some of these like weird things, and Shyamalan's career after this movie and how it wound up is kind of used to retroactively judge this film, and I think unfairly as well.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I absolutely could not stop thinking about this movie, and I couldn't talk to you about it. I talked to probably 2 people about it because I just couldn't get my mind off of it. For me, I'm going to have to go with Signs. It's an inspiring film that may not be, you know, the most sound in terms of its payoff, but there's so many things in this movie, and there's so much great filmmaking, and it's so big and inspiring. It feels like a big Spielberg movie. All these things I love about film were really encapsulated in this film, and I fell in love with this movie.
Well, I liked Signs a lot more than I thought I would.
Yeah.
I will say that. I did think it was a really good movie. However, it falls apart in too many areas. The water being how the aliens get injured and die. It didn't track for a planet that's covered in water.
It's dumb.
The overall ending being kind of blah. There's just too many areas where it just falls apart a little bit. And for me, A Quiet Place doesn't do that. There was no plot point that I was like, nope. And on top of all that, it was a different take on alien invasion because every other alien invasion, Signs included, there's these intelligent beings where there's a standoff at some point and they're all trying to take over. But there's no reasoning with these things. You can't even talk to them. You can't face them. You can't do anything. They're just mindless killing machines. And that's a different take on alien invasion horror movies that I think you can't put Signs up against, really.
I understand that, and I didn't know how good they were going to be together, but I think they were good to go head-to-head, and I wouldn't be mad at either movie winning this. I just felt so moved by Signs that I just can't help but pick it. I really can't.
Well, that's fine. I felt moved by A Quiet Place and, you know, Dad's sacrifice, so I get it. But that means this is our only second, somehow, disagreement.
We got to move on to our final segment. Final segment.
Tiebreaker.
This is the captain. Red alert. Red alert.
Welcome to the Tiebreaker.
Since this is our only second tiebreaker, and I called the only other person to tiebreak, I think it's only fair that you get to do this one.
I know the perfect person. I'm going to call our old friend Taylor.
Yeah, Taylor.
I've seen a lot of these movies with him, first and foremost, so blame him for Escape from L.A. First off.
Damn you, Taylor.
But let's give him a call. Let's see what he says.
All right.
Hello?
Yo.
What's up?
All right, I got a quick question for you. We got 2 films. They are alien invasion horror films, and I need you to tell us which one is better, or the winner. That's what matters. The movies are Signs, 2002, and A Quiet Place from 2018.
Oh, God. I like both of them. Realistically, I think Quiet Place is probably the better film, but I have a nostalgia with Signs and a great memory with it. I was in the theater watching it, and right when there was going to expose the aliens in it, the power went out in the theater. So it kind of made it a little bit of a creepier movie than it probably should have been. So for nostalgia and power outage sake, I'm going to go with Signs.
All right.
Oh, damn, that was a twister.
We have a winner. I appreciate that narrative journey we just went on. Well, thank you, Taylor. You just gave us our winner, man. I appreciate that.
Hey, no problem, dude.
All right. I'll get you later, dude.
All right, see ya.
Bye.
Bye, Taylor.
We have a winner.
Damn.
That was quite the explanation, and I appreciated that.
Dude, he had a reversal. He got me. I was like, he picked the quiet, but what? No,
Well, we
Damn.
have our winner, man. Signs.
I don't agree with it, but all right.
That's fine. Welcome to my club here.
It only happened one time.
Fucking Halloween, you dick. Well, we did it, man. And I feel satisfied. Again, I want to be clear. I'd be happy with either of these films winning.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just glad it was mine that won this time.
Yeah, I'm a little better. I can let it go because
Okay.
in my mind, A Quiet Place is always going to beat Signs.
Okay, I mean, that's fine. You're welcome to your opinions.
You know what we should have done? We should have just put the individual aliens up against each other.
That would be unfair for me.
Hey, First Prize listeners, thanks for tuning in this week. Thanks for getting existential with us. If you enjoyed this episode, if you enjoyed hearing us only slightly disagree, consider subscribing to our socials. It's at First Prize Pod, and it's on all platforms, and that includes Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We're on TikTok and YouTube as well. Also, don't forget to check out our website. It's firstprizefilms.com.
Yeah, we do this for free because Daddy Graham told us to. But if you'd like to support us, consider rating and reviewing us on Apple Podcasts or even just telling your friends.
Join us next week as we destroy these monster movies.
We're going to dive into Godzilla, King of the Monsters 2019 versus Cloverfield 2008.
Sequel versus a one-off.
Shisha!
See ya!
Bye!
That's the title of Blake's autobiography. I'm garbage and welcome to my life.